In this video, we will make a easy pickled cucumber. Let's get started. To start with, you will need to prepare a jar by sterilizing it. I've left a link to a website where it will teach you how to sterilize your jar properly, and go check out the website. So while the jar is waiting to be dried, you can prepare the cucumber by cutting off the both ends of your cucumber. I also like to rub the end of my cucumber like this just to get rid of the bitterness. And then you want to crush and peel 2 cloves of garlic. You can also add different herbs and spices like mustard seeds and chili, just to get a more complex flavor of your cucumber pickle, but I would like to keep mine simple. So in a saucepan, we're gonna prepare the brine by adding in some white distilled vinegar, organic cane sugar, and Himalayan pink salt. Give it a stir, and then you want to cook this brine over medium heat until it starts boiling and you get all the salt and sugar dissolve. When it's boiling, remove it from the heat. And then now in the sterilized jar, we're going to place our cucumber. So it depends on the size of the cucumber and the jar. My jar is about 450 ml volume, and so I need to cut my cucumber just a little bit, and then add in your garlic cloves and fill the jar with the pickle brine. Cover the jar, and then you want to place this jar in the refrigerator to pickle for about 1 week before it's ready to be used. So this is how it will look like. The color has changed and it has become tangy, sour, and has that very refreshing pickle flavor. That's how I make an easy pickled cucumber. I'll see you in the next lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to make this eggy and creamy vegan mayonnaise. To start with, we will need to prepare 125 ml of soy milk. You can also use other plant-based milk like pea milk, but soy milk works the best for me so far. And then you need to prepare 250 ml of vegetable oil. I'm using sunflower oil here. If you are looking for other options, please read the note to find out which oil will work for this recipe. Now, you need to add in the soy milk into the blender. Then add in whole grain mustard or Dijon mustard, black salt. You can also use normal salt, but I like to use black salt because it has that eggy flavor. Then add in some agave syrup to give it a sweetness. Now you want to give all of these ingredients a few pulses to combine. Notice that I didn't put the vinegar first because the vinegar is going to curdle up the soy milk, so we add it at the last. So now you want to put your blender to work over low speed, and meanwhile you stream in your vegetable oil. These steps will help the oil and the soy milk combine and emulsify together, and it will give you a really creamy consistency that you would want for mayonnaise. So once done, that's when we're going to add a bit of brown rice vinegar to give it that tanginess, and also just thicken up the thing a bit more. So this is the consistency that you will achieve. You can use this mayonnaise recipe for any other recipe that asks for mayonnaise, and it works really well with recipe like coleslaw, salad, or you just use it as a condiment to spread on your burger bun or egg sandwich. This works really well. Remember to write down the date of when you're making this, so that you know how long you have been keeping the mayonnaise. This should last you for about 2 to 3 weeks. Well, that's all for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. In this video, you will learn how to make a vegan burger bun by hand. Unlike other burger bun recipe, you do not need a mold to hold the shape, but please follow the recipe and steps to achieve the best result. Firstly, add 40 grams of water and 60 grams of cold plant-based milk into a glass. Add 2 grams of yeast and stir to dissolve. You want to make sure you use really cold milk to prevent the yeast from blooming when you knead. In a mixing bowl, add 150 grams of bread flour, 2 grams of salt, and 20 grams of grounded sugar. Whisk to combine. Grounded sugar will give you a smoother dough and a better texture in the end. Pour the yeast mixture into the dry ingredients and mix with a spatula or chopsticks like I did. Mix until the rough dough is formed. Transfer the dough to a clean working counter and start kneading. Stretch the dough and pull it back like how I did in the video. Repeat this motion for a full 10 minutes. The dough will be quite sticky and difficult to handle in the beginning. It is normal, and don't be quick to add flour. If you find it too sticky, add a sprinkle of flour at a time to help. This is how the dough will look after 2 to 3 minutes. After 5 to 6 minutes, the dough becomes smoother and stretchier. After 7 to 8 minutes. When 10 minutes is reached, the texture will be more elastic and smooth. Now, fold in 12 grams of vegan butter and continue to knead for 5 minutes. If you are using vegetable oil, make sure to do these steps in a bowl. The dough will be kind of separated in the beginning because the oil has not been fully emulsified. Just keep kneading and it will be combined. This is how the dough looks after 1 to 2 minutes. After 4 minutes, it should be well combined. Now, place the dough in a bowl and cover it with a damp towel or sling wrap. Place the bowl in a warm place to proof for 45 minutes until it becomes double in size. This is how it looks after 45 minutes. You would observe that the gluten has been fully developed. After the first proofing, transfer the dough to a clean working surface and deflate the dough to remove excessive air. Now, divide the dough into 4 portions. The dough should be around 280 grams, so each ball should be 70 grams. You can use a measuring scale or simply cut the dough into 4 equal portions. Cover them with a damp towel and let them rest for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, gently deflate the dough and form them into 4 round-shaped balls. Push the edges to the bottom, rotate, and repeat until you get a smooth and round ball. Gently pinch the bottom to seal the dough, and then place them on a lined baking tray. I'm using a silicone baking sheet here. Place the baking tray in your oven without turning it on for 30 to 45 minutes to proof the bun until double in size. Remove the buns from the oven. Be careful at this stage because the buns are extremely fragile, so do not tap the tray. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, carefully brush the buns with soy milk for glazing and sprinkle some sesame seeds on top of each bun. Bake the buns for 16 minutes until the top has become golden brown. Remember to rotate the tray halfway through. Once time is up, remove the buns from the oven and let them cool down completely before serve. Toast the bun and serve with your favorite burger patty. Before we end the video, there are 3 notes that I hope you would take note, so you can pause the video and read. So this is how you make a vegan burger bun. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer you. Now, let's move on to the next lesson. In this video, you will learn how to make fried chicken patty. So, to start with, I would like to introduce to you this tofu called traditional tofu. The texture is in between soft and firm tofu, and it has a very good texture that is similar to chicken. So what you need to do is you need to discard the water from the box and then freeze them. So you should freeze them until frozen. It should take about 5 to 6 hours. Thaw them for 4 hours and freeze again. You need to freeze this twice to remove all the water as much as possible. So now you put the tofu in between your palms and press against each other to squeeze out as much liquid as you can. You don't have to worry the tofu crumbles apart because at this stage they have already become very spongy. So this is an optional step to give it that chicken flavor. I'm dissolving some chicken stock in the warm water and then soak the tofu into the chicken stock water for at least 30 minutes to really get the tofu absorb the chicken seasoning. This will give the tofu a very juicy texture and also a very chicken-like flavor. It's optional. So while waiting, you can prepare the batter. So in a bowl, add in flour, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, some water, and soy milk or any other plant-based milk of preference. So use a whisk, combine everything together until you get a thick batter like this. In a big and shallow plate, make the coating. I'm adding in flour, garlic powder, salt, black pepper. Nutritional yeast give it very good umami flavor. And then some smoked paprika. Just use a fork to combine everything together. So now the tofu has been soaked in the chicken seasoning for 30 minutes. You want to use your hand to squeeze out excessive liquid and then transfer them to the batter. So I will cover them and put them in the fridge for another 30 minutes to marinate. So after 30 minutes, we're ready to coat and fry the tofu. You want to prepare a rack with a plate underneath to catch all the excessive flour. And then you want to lay the tofu and the coating on the countertop so that it's easier to work with. Then drip a few teaspoons of the batter into the flour to create that crispy bits on your tofu. Now take out the tofu from the marinade and squeeze gently to remove excessive marinade. Place it in the flour coating and just make sure you want to coat it really well all of the side, and then make sure you have all the little bits on the tofu as well. Now prepare the oil for frying. You want to fill a saucepan or a pot with vegetable oil up to 3 to 4 inch tall so that it's deep enough for you to fry. And then to test the temperature, simply drop a bit of the flour into the oil and see if it starts bubbling. You can place the tofu in the oil and start frying. Don't worry too much about the temperature because this is not meat, this is not chicken. Tofu is not raw, it's cooked from the inside already. So what you need to do is just to make sure that you get that outer layer, the crust, that skin, golden brown and crispy like this. So for the temperature of the oil, if you don't have a thermometer, just like me, all you need to do is just to make sure that it's bubbling when you put items into it to fry. And it's not smoking. When it starts smoking, the temperature can be too high and you will end up with a burnt black dark tofu patty. So this is the color and the look that we want for the patty. It's crispy, flavorful, and the inside is really juicy. The key of this recipe is to double freeze the tofu to give it that texture and to marinate it in the chicken seasoning as well as the batter to give it that juiciness and flavor. So I would definitely suggest you not to skip them. Anyway, I will see you in the next few lessons where I will share with you how to make the sauce and the condiment so that you can create this delicious tofu chicken burger. See you in the next lesson. In this video, you'll learn how to make this caramelized onion mayonnaise sauce to serve with your burger. Firstly, you need to dice some onion. Because we're putting it in a sauce, so you want to make sure you dice it into small pieces. And then you want to saute the onion with a bit of vegetable oil. So you just want to make sure that you keep stirring until the onion has become brown and caramelized. It should look something like this. Once the onion is caramelized, remove it from the pan and set aside to let it cool down. In a bowl, add in some vegan mayonnaise, Worcestershire sauce, tomato sauce, hot sauce of preference, agave syrup to give it a bit of sweetness, some smoked paprika for extra spice, and then you just want to mix it. And then add in the caramelized onion and combine. So there you have the sauce. It's very easy to make. And then you can serve it on your burger. You can also use it as a dipping sauce for your fries. So they have sourness, sweetness, saltiness, spiciness, a lot of different elements to give the sauce a very balanced flavor. That's how you want to make a good sauce. So that's how you make the caramelized onion mayonnaise sauce. And I'll see you in the next lesson where we will learn how to make a pickled cucumber. So now that you have all the components ready, we're going to build the burger. To start with, slice an onion thinly. Saute the onion with a bit of oil over medium-high heat until they are translucent and soft. This is to remove the spiciness of the onion but brings out the sweetness of the onion. You don't want to overcook it, you still want to keep that crispiness. Once it's done, just set it aside. And then you want to slice your pickles lengthwise so that you get a bit of pickles in every bite and they're not falling apart. Next, slit the burger bun open and spread some vegan butter or any oil of preference, olive oil, coconut oil. And then you want to toast the bun until they're crispy and golden brown. You can also toast it in the oven. I prefer to toast it on the stove, it's easier and faster. Once it's golden brown, spread some caramelized onion mayonnaise sauce. Put on the pickles, the tofu patty, more mayonnaise sauce, some sauteed onion, some sprouts to make it look green and fresh. And then put the crown on. There you have it. The burger is done. Repeat the same steps until you have finished all the bun and the patty, and they are ready to serve. This burger recipe has so many things, so many different components to make it a full, complex, and a very satisfying burger. The texture is meaty, juicy, and you have the tanginess from the pickle, from the mayonnaise, and you also have the freshness from the alfalfa, from the crispy pickle, as well as the crunchy sauteed onion. So I really hope you will enjoy this recipe, and if you make this recipe, remember to tag me on Instagram or Facebook